Raiden versus Vamp. So, after all that swimming, what's next? Huh, we must be at one of the water treatment parts of the big shell. And Vamp is just sitting there. On the water.
Still ticking, huh?
Even after you shot him in the head.
Unfortunately, hell had no vacancy.
Oh, funny. Thought your wound would have healed by now. Whoa. Acrobatic as shit. Now you're bowing to me like a jackass.
I thought so.
You're almost as operatic as Fat Man.
Human muscles are quite eloquent. They speak out clearly what a person's next move will be. They even tell me which way a gun is going to be pointed before the trigger is pulled. But your muscles, they're different. This should be fun. Well,
what are you gonna do? Suck his blood? Oh, apparently so. He's sucking his own blood. Of course he did. Why do you think he was sitting there?
Nuisance. I can't let you interfere with Arsenal gear.
The final plan. Arsenal gear.
The girl is just ahead.
But you're gonna have to fight your way through me to get to her.
But she served us well as the live bait for the big catch. Crazy Ivan sometimes speaks the truth.
Yeah, Crazy Ivan, the guy who became Dracula? Well, of course she is.
She was some time ago. But the flooding has become quite serious. I wouldn't be surprised if she's a mermaid now.
What?
Did you really think killing the president would prevent a nuclear strike?
No, it never does.
Think again.
I didn't do it.
Arsenal is still armed
Which
with
is worse than the regular hydrogen bomb.
Purified hydrogen bomb?
Sorry, I kinda synced up with him.
This is no ordinary nuclear bomb.
Ah, great.
This weapon is capable of heavy hydrogen nuclear fusion using lasers
and
magnetics to
Metal Gear!
Compression.
Very political over-explanation of shit. It doesn't matter.
And Solidus has no idea.
Then what are you doing?
The clean thermonuclear bomb is at an experimental stage and is handled differently. Specifically, it becomes launch capable when Arsenal is activated. A nuclear threat still
exists. It always
exists.
does. There wouldn't be a story otherwise.
6 months ago, we lost everything we believed in. We were abandoned to take the fall in their cover-up. We were labeled as killers, responsible for the mass murder of civilians as well as our own
Yeah, but you do
allies.
kill people for the joy of it.
Believed every word, turning a deaf ear to whatever we had to say to the contrary. Our only goal is to wipe them from the face of the earth and destroy this world of deceit they have created along with them.
You're talking about the Patriots, aren't you?
Insane? We might be the only ones telling the truth.
Whoa, this is way before MGS4. That is some covert BS right there.
Final check for activating Arsenal has been completed. All Arsenal personnel report to your stations.
Well, it sounds like Arsenal's ready to go into operation.
Damn it!
You're still hoping that the girl can install that virus you're carrying around.
How do you know everything? No, but you just told me.
It's a shame you're not going to be around long enough to hand her the program. That isn't seawater, you know. It's a byproduct of the microbes contained in the pool. Buoyancy is practically non-existent thanks to the high oxygen content.
So if you fall in, you die.
Once you fall in, you don't come up. Take a good look at your grave.
I mean, I died a couple times with that pool because I was being an idiot and running around. Let's do it! See what you got. Bam! Right in the face. You shouldn't underestimate me. Especially when I'm handling a sniper rifle. Or a rocket launcher. There he is. He's a vampire. He can breathe underwater. Idiot. He can't even stand up to my rocket-propelled grenades. You gotta take every edge you can get with this guy. I mean, if I didn't do this, he would be all over my ass, and I'd probably be dead right now. There he is. Thinks he's so cool. Now that I have his weakness, he can't think to stop me. His throwing knives are pretty damn accurate. I'll save that for him. Am I bleeding? I'm bleeding. Ugh, I've only got 4 more rocket-propelled grenades to use. Oh, he got me. Oh, man. Dodging these things is not that simple. Especially when I'm standing in one place like this. I'm gonna have to be careful about how I use these last 3 grenades. He's barely even touched me, which is kind of weird. This guy's strangely a knife expert in a shooter, which is a little weird. Great, I got 1 shot left. Sneaky bastard. We have to use something else now. M4 is pretty good. It's a machine gun. Solid machine. Let's finish this guy off. Help me stop jumping around like a frickin' bunny. He missed every shot. Now that is impressive. You missed one, you bastard. There we go. And there he falls. Right into the water. Where he will drown forever. Bye-bye, Vamp. Never to see you again. As you drown and bleed to death. Okay, now it's time to use my stored up insults on Vamp in today's scoreboard. Gameplay. Vamp is overpowered. Vamp might even be broken in some of the eyes that are completely unmerciful. Gaining the ability to jump up in randomized locations and charge run Raiden for huge chunks of damage is the main problem, because it increases the difficulty to scary levels. And seeing Vamp charge towards your face while you're trying to first person his ass will always be a scary sight. At least his throwing knives give a chance for the intensity to die down slightly. That is until he starts pulling 8 to 10 of the things, which will lead to at least one getting past. I had to memorize this guy's movement patterns during my first playthrough in order to finally do an end run around him and win the game, but that was nearing 10 attempts. So for that, I'm going to give Vamp a 4 2/3 Triforce score. Story. The story is basically that this guy is an immortal dick who just loves to toy with his enemies like a conniving wolf or conniving sadist, which he probably is. They could have set up this guy as a masochist like Albedo if they really wanted to, but Vamp doesn't do it for himself. Even with all of his personal joy that he gets from messing with people, he's always doing it to further the ultimate organizational objective, which is why he wasn't denounced like Fat Man was. In his death cutscene, Vamp was shot and most likely drowned in the dense water like Vamp told Raiden would happen if someone fell in. bringing him towards his death and his scoreboard towards the 8 1/3 Triforce score that this category gets. Fun. This is probably one of those times where brick-chewingly hard difficulty might have actually made the game. Why? Because when you think of Vamp, you're going to think of the sadistically overpowered vampire, and that's because you literally had to grind yourself up the ass to make it happen. The player had to put in the effort to stop him, making him a benchmark in our minds of this game. Being hard but not impossible allows the player to get the great achievement feeling from actually defeating this guy because of that difficulty. Otherwise, the game couldn't stand much on to be fun. Its unpredictability and punishing attacks do not coincide with a fun feeling within the experience, but afterwards, it's sticking to you like the plague, and you'll not forget him for a long while. Vamp was the boss fight to prove your mettle, and as for doing so, gives me the opportunity to slap him with a 7 1/3 Triforce score. Vamp. Finally, a vampire in the media that takes his lineage seriously. An ugly, powerful, and immortal visage that'll burn himself into your mind's eye after he's flayed your spine right in front of your eyes with that demonic grin on his face. Raiden did send him falling into the inescapable drink below, the perimeter hazard mentioned before, and died from his own drowning, leaving us with his memory and a final score for the books of 20 1/3 Triforces. He's punishing, he's brutal, and he's a tough bastard to take down for sure. The final gunshot echoes, and the only thing left to say is victory for gamers. Now stay tuned for the next one.